All right, now we take you to Mombasa County, where Chief Justice David Maraga is opening a conference of the judges and magistrates. Let's listen into what he is doing while there.
And think about that. Another matter of significant concern is the variation in performance between the different courts. For example, whereas the ERRC had an average overall case clearance rate of 160% and the High Court 134%, the Court of Appeal managed only 49%, meaning that the build-up of backlog has been continuing. For the Court of Appeal, this is of course attributable to the significant shortfall in the staffing levels, a challenge that we recently addressed with the recruitment of 11 new judges. At the Supreme Court, we had a clearance rate of 93%, even though we still managed to bring down the backlog by 7%, and of course with no cases older than 5 years. The ERC had the highest change in backlog clearance, with the total number of all the cases coming down by 19%. Some of the stations have had extremely good performance. The Milimani Civil Division, for example, had a case clearance rate of 583%, leading to a 21% reduction in the overall case backlog count. Compare this with Narok. Compare this with Narok, which had a paltry 38% case clearance rate and 106% increase in the case backlog count. Just so that you appreciate the disparities further, let us contrast the performance at the Kiambu High Court, which had an overall productivity rate of 1,067, with that of Kapenguria, which had 64. Just to be clear, I would like to make this clear so that we understand each other, that the difference between case clearance rate and the productivity rate is that whereas the former is a percentage of the resolved cases in a particular court station in relation to the filed cases in the same court, productivity refers to the total resolved cases divided by the number of judicial officers at the station. So you can see why, in relation to productivity, the difference between Kiambu's rate of 1,067 and the Kapunguria's of 64 is a matter of great concern, particularly when the latter ended up with a significant increase in its backlog numbers. I'm not raising these figures to criticize or embarrass anybody, but I would like you to spend time, if not in the main sessions, but then on the sidelines, to borrow a leaf from each other, from those stations that have done well, so that we can be able to perform in a relatively uniform, at a relatively uniform rate. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the stations which have done well and see what we can emulate from them. The adjudication of justice requires a knowledgeable judiciary, a judiciary that remains aware of the evolving issues facing the world in which its clients live, and a judiciary alive to the emerging jurisprudence in various fields. This year's program will also offer an opportunity to interrogate the emerging jurisprudence on global warming up, and climate change, as well as some touchy issues such as what we hope to explore under the topic, the judicial approach on sexual offences and the age of consent, facts and figures, as well as challenges. Fellow judges, as you know, one of the transformation elements we have been pursuing vigorously has been digitization of our key processes. Over the last year, the judiciary has made significant progress in this area despite the funding challenges. You must be aware that we are now not receiving any cash in any of our stations, and that has gone a long way in assisting us deal with the issues of theft and corruption in that area. To begin with, out of the 132 courts in the Republic, 128 now have reliable internet connectivity. We only have 4 courts in extremely remote areas which have neither electricity nor internet connectivity, but we aim to have them connected by the end of this financial year. Connectivity, as you know, is a crucial aspect of digitization and has to be and has been a principal goal for the judiciary leadership. In partnership with the Ministry of ICT, we hope to migrate to the government national fiber optic backbone in this financial year. With the connectivity universally in place, we will continue to vigorously pursue other elements of digitization, such as replacing the archaic, time-consuming tradition of handwritten notes with the digital court recording and the transcription system, beginning with 32 court stations around the country. 6 of those will be ready by next month for this great innovation, while the other 26 are undergoing procurement processes. We are currently engaging the government in the Ajira program to provide an effective and efficient transcription solution that will also benefit the youth of Kenya in offering online jobs. The judiciary has also developed and deployed a case tracking system to monitor and manage the progress of cases. This year alone, the case tracking system has been used to track over 400,000 cases in 49 out of 132 court stations. With the marginally improved funding that we have received this year, we will be expanding the case tracking system to cover all the other courts in the country. This will include an SMS-based information facility for wananchi who will only need to send a message to the judiciary short code 22490 to be updated about their cases. I urge you to ensure that you keep abreast of the progress we continue to make in the digitization campaign, since this will have far-reaching implications on the way we work.